Back in August, this is of last year, we told you about so-called mystery flights coming to Westchester Airport. These were planes carrying undocumented children from the southern border to White Plains in the middle of the night. Now, these planes were part of President Joe Biden's immigration plan that had reportedly been suspended in October.
But New York Republican gubernatorial candidate Rob Astorino says the flights are back. He recently captured this footage at the airport. Rob Astorino is joining us this morning. Nice to have you back on Good Day New York.
Thanks, Rosanna. Thanks, Bianca. Good to see you.
So tell us about these flights and why are you concerned?
I'm concerned because no questions that I've asked the federal government or Kathy Hochul here in New York. Who's on those flights? Where are they going? What schools? The impact financially to taxpayers. We have issues right now in our country and certainly in New York, on Long Island especially, with gangs. And so there's a lot of issues. None of them are being addressed. We get no answers whatsoever. We're paying the bill. And they were doing this in the middle of the night when the airport was closed. They resumed these flights now. They're coming in almost every night now to Westchester. It's the El Paso Express via Biden Air. And of course, down on the southern border, they get one of these. They get a cell phone, thanks to the federal government. They come to New York via the flights, and then they're dispersed. And we don't know where they're going. I think there's legitimate concerns, and we have every right from our government to get answers. Kathy Hochul, by the way, she's just completely turning a blind eye. New York is a sanctuary state now. So what she's doing is saying, come on in. And by the way, they set up a $2 billion fund in the state budget. So illegal immigrants now come to New York because they should, because it's cash assistance, it's Medicaid, it's everything else, including school services that we, the taxpayers, are footing.
But let me ask you something.
My heart bleeds for these kids and for these adults who are coming in, but we have a system in this country that is completely broken.
So let me ask you, Rob, I mean, the White House has basically said these young children that are coming in are meeting either family here or sponsors, that they're not just coming in and, you know, just being dispersed in the community. And basically, these flights are coming in, you know, in the middle of the night because that's the time that's available and maybe it's cheaper. Is that true?
No, they are chartering these flights from the southern border, bringing them to New York. They're now coming in later at night as opposed to overnight, but they're shielding the planes, the buses, and so the public has no view. These are not just unaccompanied kids. These are not 8-year-olds with backpacks. These are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. Many of them are boys or men. And again, we have no questions that have gone answered by the federal government or Kathy Hochul. What she should be doing is what the governor of Texas and Florida are doing and saying, wait a minute, we want to know what's happening in our own communities because we're paying the bill. And so in New York, again, everyone is being waved in. I would say I'm having a state trooper at the airport. When everyone comes off those planes, I want to see the manifest because we have a right to know who is coming in this country while they supposedly await for their court hearings. Again, we can't even get basic information about that.
I think that the basic information that we do have is possibly concerning. This is to you in terms of the fact that we're seeing 42 migrants on the terror watch list have been arrested by Customs and Border Protection, try to enter illegally. Now, this has been since Biden has been in office. However, we're not talking about the 700,000 migrants that have come in that have not been caught or arrested by Border Protection because they're so overwhelmed. Is this a national security issue for you?
It's a huge national security issue. It's a public safety issue here in New York where crime is rampant. We have gang violence and activity on the rise, drug issues on the rise. Fentanyl is the #1 death now for people over 25. And nobody is looking at this as a major issue. Right now, I'm in Lake George, New York. I'll be later on the border with Canada in Plattsburgh. I know New York is a border state with Canada. I didn't know we were a border state with Mexico. But what is happening right now is every state, every community is a border town or state because they are taking this problem at the southern border, self-made, by the way, and they're bringing them to every area of the country with no notification to the local communities. And the local communities get stuck with the tab as well. So it is not only fair to ask these questions, it's the right thing to do for all the reasons I just talked about.
Now, when you have reporters asking about this, or even just you yourself, I mean, the footage that you kind of brought forward came out in January, and the White House responded to that, saying that that footage was neither new nor news. So why would the White House push back in that way?
Well, first off, why don't they answer my letter? I sent a letter to them February 1st, outlining all the questions that we in the public would like to know, especially the host communities. Nothing, not even a courtesy letter like, yeah, we got it, we'll blow you off, but we got it. Nothing. Second, we'd like to know, again, who is coming into our communities. We have a right to know since we're paying all these bills here.
But why do they not want to tell you then?
Whatever reason. They're saying they don't have to or they don't want to. That's a legitimate question.
I mean,
I'd like to know from
maybe they know
Kathy
that.
Hochul.
I was about to say, maybe they know that you're running for governor of New York against Kathy Hochul, and maybe they think this is a ploy to get attention.
Well, it's also a political liability for her because there is blowback now. People are concerned. You know, when we have inflation where it is, where we have the economy bad, where people are concerned about crime, and now you're adding another issue that people have to deal with. You know, somebody here taking a job from somebody locally. Citizens are not distinguished from non-citizens. When we're struggling, I had to pay over $1,000 for this phone at Christmas time, and you know what? They're getting free phones when they come across the border. I mean, who thinks that that's a good idea or right? So whether I'm running for governor or not, I and every citizen of my state and this country have a right to have their questions answered by their government. And it makes it even more obvious that they're trying to cover stuff up by poo-pooing it or putting us on the side and not answering our basic questions. So I think Kathy Hochul should start with the president needs to tell us who's coming in, and she should send state troopers to Westchester County Airport. Every time those flights land, they should be there and demanding the manifests for public safety and public health issues, if nothing else. And if they don't do that, then put a police officer or state trooper on the runway when we know these flights are coming in, and don't let them land.
It does seem suspect. Rob Astorino, thank you so much for being on Good Day New York. We know that you're stumping in Lake George today. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.